Hi everyone, my name is Anuj Jindal. I welcome you to my channel. Today I'm going to continue with the series that I've started wherein I am picking up the real answer sheets of toppers in UPSC Civil Services, because if you want to ace answer writing, then the best way is to learn from toppers themselves. This is something unique that you might not find in detail on YouTube, and that is why I thought that this is something that we should be covering, because merely listening to toppers interviews I might not be enough, but analyzing how they have actually performed in the real actual examination, how they've done, what kind of answers have they written, what are the unique selling points, what was the approach that they followed in writing answers. If we have understanding about that, automatically your answers will be much better, and with that your success will also be faster. So today I'm going to pick up the real answer sheet of All India Rank 3, Miss Uma, and I will try and break down all the unique selling points that she brings to the table. And through these unique selling points, you will be able to improve your answer writing in no time. So try and inculcate the unique things that she had adopted in her own answers in your answers as well. If you don't do that, there is no point in watching this session, because you'll end up wasting your time. You are on social media, you are on YouTube. If you're wasting your time watching on things that you don't believe in, then you are not doing justice to yourself, to your preparation as well. So let's pick up her answers. Before that, let's just try and understand her marks. So she got 119 in essay, 113, 116, 100 and 132 in GS, and 146, 147 in her optional anthro, and 187 in personality test. This clearly shows that her writing skills were very good. Otherwise, no matter how much you have studied in every paper, if your writing skills are not well defined, you will not get such consistent marks. The only way of getting consistency in all the subjects is to ace your answer writing to the extent that the examiner is not able to figure out whether you are very confident about a question's answer or not, and you are writing in a way that automatically brings out the gist of it, even if you know very little about it. Okay, this is something that I listened to, and I saw her talking about it, and I felt that it is something very unique. So I will just share it with you. She said, have faith in yourself, understand the exam, have your own strategy, and own up to your setbacks, failures, and own up to everything and make it your own. So that even so that way, even if you don't clear the exam, you will be a better person and a person who can face the world. So she was very confident about herself, and she knew that even if she does not clear the examination, she will do something with her life, something worthwhile with her life. That kind of confidence is important, because only when you have that learning capability and that approach and attitude towards learning from UPSC Civil Services, only then you will be able to learn that much that you end up clearing the exam. If you run after civil services exam like a mad chicken, not understanding what it is trying to teach you, you will not be able to clear the exam, because there is no one out there who can teach you everything. Only you can learn from your own mistakes and everything. But through this series, you can try and learn from the mistakes of these aspirants who cleared the examination with amazing ranks. Okay, that kind of confidence I really loved. Let's focus on some of the USPs that I found in her answers, and then we'll go through them one by one in detail as well. Like a lot of other aspirants, she also used to write her answers in points and subpoints, and we'll see that very clearly in her answers. Graphs and maps, diagrams and flowcharts, something again a lot of toppers have been using. If you've not started it already, please do, because this is what differentiates yourself from others. And all the toppers that I've witnessed have been using diagrams and flowcharts. It's not an easy job, because you have to prepare every day. You have to do this, and only after 2 3 months of regular practice you will start seeing the result. You will start seeing that you're automatically thinking in terms of in terms of diagrams and maps, and automatically you're able to inculcate a lot of flowcharts, etc., etc., in your answers. So it takes about 2 3 months of hard work, of struggle. Only then the result will start showing. Only. Okay. Framing of questions. Now, this is something unique that I found in her answers. We will go through this. If you're really interested in figuring out how she framed questions in her answers, please stick around. Use of definition in intro. I have been telling all the aspirants from day one that the best way of writing the introduction is to frame the definition of the keyword. That is the best, easiest, simplest, and the fastest way of writing the introduction, which works without fail every time. Every question has a keyword. If you write the definition of that keyword, the examiner instantly knows whether you are clear with the concepts or not. And that itself is enough to impress the examiner. So make sure that you start inculcating this. I found this very outrightly in her answers. In every answer, she would start the introduction with a definition. That was so easy, and we'll just see it very shortly as well. Okay, use of subpoints with the main point. The first one, here you can see, let me show you an example. She said, lack of social security has strong correlation with poverty. And there is a subpoint here, which is an example. In absence of medical benefits, high out of pocket expenditure pushes people into poverty. So simple. In such simple terms, in just three sentences, she was able to write the reason as well as justify it with some examples as well. This is what you need to do. Write in points and subpoints. The subpoints need to be brief, need to be explanatory, and justifying the point that you put forward. Okay. Here also, private parties faces difficulty in getting clearances. Government can do this job better. So instead of writing an entire different sentence, she made a sub point out of it and wrote it in the sub point. It's so simple. It's as simple as that. You just need to do this. This is a USP that we found in majority of toppers' answers. In fact, in the previous video where I discussed AIR rank one's answer sheet, there also we found the same thing. If you've not seen that video, do watch that video as well. USP number two, use of graphs and maps. Now, this is something again that we found in all the answers of toppers. This means you have to do this. If all the toppers are doing it and that is why they're getting selected, that means you also have to do it. It's a clear indication of what works and what doesn't work. So, why not just do what works, clear the examination, and go to the other side? Why end up, spending our lives in Nagar or somewhere else in our homes, sitting in one room, lock yourself up, and keep studying when it is not working? Do what works, and this is what works. Okay, graphs and maps, you can see clearly. Let me give you the example. This is what impressed me the most. This was a question about investment levels in the economy. Why are they low? So she drew a graph. Gross capital formation is the same as investment levels. The ratio of gross capital formation to GDP in 2003 it was 26%. 2007 rose up to 35. Everything went up in 35 in 2007. Even if you're not aware about the exact numbers, you can very well make up these numbers and they will be fine. You can even use the word approximately at the bottom, and the examiner understands this. He doesn't want you to remember all the numbers. He wants you to understand. In 2007, before the financial crisis, our GDP was going through the roof. Investment levels were high, saving levels were high. So it has to be somewhere around 33 to 35%. It's just common sense. 2017, it came down to 26% again. All over the news. It has been there for the past 6 7 years. So this is how she summarized her understanding of gross capital formation so beautifully in a small graph. This is what you need to do. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's come to USP number three. Use double underlining and framed questions. Now this is unique that I've not seen in any other uh, aspirants and toppers answers. Let us see this through an example. There was a question on MSP. What are the problems with MSP? Why is it just a short-term solution and why not a long-term solution? So she divided this answer into parts, and every part would have another question. What this does is the examiner, first of all, does not have to go back to the question that he asked. It makes it very clear that the aspirant, that the student is writing answer to this question. And at the same time, it makes it all the more simple. Instead of putting it as a statement wherein she might have said, and a lot of other toppers use that MSP is only a short term solution. That would be a statement. Instead, she started using questions in the answer itself. How is MSP a short term solution? Then another question. Why does MSP create long term problems? Such an easy way, simple way, wherein she's asking questions in the answer itself and then answering those questions. Such a beautiful way of writing the answers, something that I loved. And I would love to see future aspirants also copying this. There's nothing wrong in copying this approach because it works. And this was able to simplify the answer to the next level altogether. We will see that very shortly as well. Okay. Another USP, definitions. So I want you to have a look at this. Now, this is a question on fiscal discipline or fiscal deficits, and she's defined fiscal discipline. Fiscal discipline means having a balance between government revenue expenditure. It's a simple definition she's given, and through that simple definition, she's caught hold of the examiner instantly. Now, the examiner is like, okay, she understands what fiscal deficit discipline is. I'm going to read it further, and I'm not going to give her less marks because I know that she understands it. So that is the power of definitions. Please make sure that you're inculcating this in your intros. It's the simplest, easiest, fastest way of writing your introductions. You don't have to make your introductions complex by talking about the importance, historical underpinnings, and all those things. That is all BS. Please stick to the basics. Definition is the best way. Okay. USP number 5 that you would have seen in all the other answers of various other topics as well. I've already shared it in AIR 1 rank 1's answer sheet as well. She's using a flowchart here, another flowchart here, another, I can say, a triangle here. Now, these are only some examples. If you look at her entire answer sheet, you will see that she's used it in, I think, almost all the answers. And it's a beautiful way of expressing herself. This is something that all the toppers do. So I request you to start doing it. It will take 2 3 months for you to catch hold of it, and then it will start coming automatically. Okay. Okay. Let's now get to the real job wherein we'll analyze some of her answers. Let me pick up the first one here. The question says, highlight the issues faced in BOT and EPC models of infrastructure investment. Explain how hybrid annuity model or HAM can address these. Very simple question. The first question is the issues in BOT and EPC models. Second question is the qualities in hybrid annuity model. BOT, build, operate, transfer, and engineering, procurement, construction are two commonly used investment models in PPP. By bringing out and explaining and writing their full forms, she's sent the message to the examiner that she knows what these models are, and she's also defined them. These are the models, investment models that are used in PPP. Now she's explained these PPP models with their features very briefly. The private party designs, arranges finance, constructs the project, operates the project to recover costs through tolls. The private party is responsible only for engineering and construction. Government pays upfront costs. It is like a common contract. After a stipulated period in BOT, the project is transferred to the government. So these are the features of BOT and EPC, very beautifully, simply, again, through a flowchart. Instead of writing it in paragraphs, she's used a flowchart. A tree is made, and through this, she's explained it. Issues with BOT. Now, because the question was asking about issues with BOT and EPC, she's jumped onto that. Issues with BOT, entire financial risk is borne by the private party. Private party faces difficulty in getting clearances. The cost may or may not be recovered through tolls. The private parties are not very interested. Issued with EPC, high upfront cost for the government, because here the government is bearing the cost. Private party has no stake, which means it might end up performing badly. These are the problems with both of them, and how hybrid annuity model solves these problems. She's explained that also. Here you can see, so simply she's explained in points and subpoints, not at all complex, and no point you will see is repeated. Every point is unique. So this is how you write an answer. You stick to what is being asked. You define them clearly. Talk about their features because that is what the examiner wants to know. If you're writing this answer in a mock test and you end up writing all the BS and then you realize, okay, the examiner wanted me to define them. I've not defined them. I've not talked about their features. I need to maybe read upon these and then write it again. That is how you constructively criticize yourself to understand where you are going wrong. Okay. Analysis of answer 2. Let's pick up this question. Beautiful question, very simple question, where she has written a very simple, straightforward answer. The question says, investment rate in India has gradually declined after a historic high in mid 2000s. Examine the reasons behind this trend, the steps required to revive investment for a sustained growth. Very simple question. Okay. So reasons for the decline, number one, what is investment? Number two, or gross capital formation, and steps that we can take to revive. This is what is being asked in the question. What is investment or gross capital formation is an important channel for economic growth. Investment rate can be seen as a sharp decline. We can see that there has been a decline. She's not defined gross capital formation. So constructive criticism would mean that okay, there can be an improvement here where you can define gross capital formation. The the entire capital that is formed in the economy in the form of assets that are acquired or inventoried or made in the economy, produced in the economy, all of that capital in the form of machinery, in the form of assets, whether they are actual assets or financial assets, all of that is gross capital formation. It's as simple as that. So, this is how you define GCF or investment, and that is when the examiner knows clearly that you've understood or you have conceptual clarity. Okay, how she actually recovered was through this, wherein she, through a graph, she was able to explain how GCF as a percentage of GDP has been going down. It shot up in 2007, but since then it has been going down. So this is how she recovered. This is the power of graphs and charts and diagrams. Try and inculcate these in your answers. Okay. Reasons for investment slowdown, number one, and the steps that can be taken to revive investment. Let's go through the reasons first. Global economic slowdown, twin balance sheet problem, no remarkable progress in ease of doing business, corporate fraud, high interest rates to control inflation, fall in savings. All the points are unique. All the points have their own importance. All the points, there is no overlap. All the points are relevant also to what is being asked. That is the beauty. And she's not spent a lot of space. One sentence each, the same with steps required. She just talked about the steps one by one, starting timelines of IBC, faster clearances of projects, improving infrastructure and logistics, leverage NBFCs to channelize small savings, REITs, real estate investment trust, so that investments in online or in the financial markets in the form of real estate investment trusts can increase. So this is how she's talked about different points that can increase investment and what are the bottlenecks that have resulted in slower investment for India. Very simple, straightforward answer, which that did the job. Let me come to the last question, and this is a very beautiful question where I think she's used questions, sub questions. That is something that I want to show you. Minimum support price of crops, the question is a short term solution for agricultural distress, which creates long term problems. So, how is MSP a short term solution? How MSP creates long term problems? This is what is being asked. Suggest measures to overcome the limitations, measures that we can take to overcome the problems of MSP. These are the three questions that have been asked. This is what she's answered. MSP को define कर दिया है यहाँ पे, beautifully defined here. Then how MSP is a short term solution. So instead of using a statement here, she's using a question. That is something that struck me. Okay, this is something unique. Not every topper or not every student is doing it, but I think it works. That is why she got AIR 3. All these things work. Okay. How is MSP a short term solution? She's answering the first question. It sets a floor price. It is insurance against post harvest losses or risks, incentivize production, makes farmer take agricultural decisions, ensure food availability through PDS. Why does MSP create long term problems? Again, a question answering what is being asked in the question itself. Now she's put down points. And the third one, how to overcome these issues. She's answering the third part of the question here. She's raising a question, and through by answering that question in the answer itself, she's actually able to grab the attention of the examiner better, and she's also able to stick to what is being asked, because there are so many questions. You are always in a hurry. You end up writing what you know instead of writing what is being asked. So this is a very simple, straightforward way of sticking to what is being asked and then answering that part only. Okay. So these are some of the questions that I wanted to show you and their answers of All India Rank 3, Miss Uma Harathi. I hope the session was useful. Please come for these sessions only if you feel that you want to use these and you find it worthwhile of using these tricks and tips that are shared indirectly by all these toppers through their answers. Okay. If you want me to create more of these videos, please let me know in the comment section below. I also get motivation when I see that students are watching these and they want more of these sessions, they find them useful, and I will keep trying to come up with something unique from all the toppers' answer sheets so that you are able to learn something new from them, inculcate them, and find success as soon as possible. All the best, guys. Take care. I'll see you again. Bye bye.